Hi everyone, it is time, hopefully, wish me luck. It is as always the nights where I decide to stream that Baby Shipper does not want to, so I will basically wait for some people to come in, and tonight, as promised, it is Rex timeline time. We're gonna go and chat with Rex. So I've accidentally learned some things about this game when I've been perusing for some stuff, and I know that there are a couple of special things that we can potentially unlock if we get 100% completion. So because of that, I'm going to take us right back to the beginning of our timeline and alter our Jack a tiny bit, also to see how different he gets and to get some more of those dialogue options so we can get to what I believe is a potential OT5. So there's also a really dark ending that I saw an image from. I'm not sure if it's just from a timeline or just dark, but I need to get there. We're taking it back to when we first met Dominic that very first night. So I might not reread everything, but I'll reread a decent amount for those who weren't here for the first part. But this time we're super like whatever Jack. Offer a casual shrug. I shrug my shoulders nonchalantly. Listen, I don't want to be involved in your guys' spat or anything. I'm just trying to make some tips, okay? Calm down. Now he's just like, no, not this time, Dom. When we got together, I ate you. It's not happening. He pauses for a moment longer, and his blue eyes burn into me searchingly, as if he's trying to read my true intentions. Ah, welcome! But finally he lowers himself back into the booth, giving a reluctant nod. I'll get that coffee then. Sassily. Don't run away while I'm gone. Oh, volume, I almost forgot to ask you how the volume is. Right. One day I'll be able to roll my R's. It's a dream. I dreamed a dream. With that, I hurry towards the kitchen, setting up a pot of fresh coffee to brew. Troy's on his phone, chatting away with his new girlfriend, so I can't ask him if he knows that guy in the booth, and Troy won't matter past the first act anyway. Luna. I see you there. He's a strange customer even for this hour, but he doesn't seem like a bad person. I don't want to play a therapist or anything, but part of me wants to ask what he's brooding about. Would he tell a stranger, though? Most definitely. When the coffee's done, I grab the cup and head back to the booth, cream and sugar tucked under my free arm, and this time I'm not stirring it for him. To my surprise, the man is still there. He was staring off into space before, but when I get close, his head jerks toward me. Thanks. He mumbles awkwardly, pulling his cigarette from his lips and snuffing it out in the ashtray. No problem. I set the coffee along with the cream and sugar down in front of him. But he just sort of blankly stares at the table as if he's not sure what to do. Do you want me to mix it in for you? The cream and sugar, that is? And we can't avoid it. We gotta stir his coffee. My offer makes his eyes widen, but after a brief pause, he stiffly nods. Has this guy never had coffee before? Well, whatever. I have to earn my tips, don't I? I'm sure that Jack earns a lot of tips. I grab the cream and pour some into the cup, stirring until the dark liquid turns into a pretty caramel shade. After mixing in a couple spoons of sugar, I push the coffee towards him expectantly. It's not French press, but it's not poison either. Go on. But it's not Isaac's either, is it? He takes the cup and lifts it to his lips, looking unsure of himself. After a long sip, he blinks, and a surprised light washes over his face. He's sweet. Oh, did I put too much sugar in? I can get you another cup if you'd... No, it's fine. I like it. To my shock, the man's lips actually curl in a small smile. It makes him seem a lot less intimidating, and the look in his clear blue eyes softens a little. I'll enjoy eating him later. He's seriously an oddball. Serious query time. Do you want me to reread or do you want me to skip through so we can get right to the Rex? That sounded... Why did I say it like that? Why did I say it like that? A guy that size who doesn't even know how to drink coffee. Just then, the diner's door suddenly swings open. A blonde girl strides up to the counter, plopping... Get to the rest. The thirst. Well, we need to reread some of this because I'm going to change my reactions to Luka. Who will have his time? Sorry, let me know if you need anything else. Luka. I apologize to my new friend whose expression has returned to an impassive stare. Yeah. He lowers his eyes to stare at the depths of his coffee cup, not offering another word. I almost feel bad for leaving him, but I can't exactly ignore a customer. Troy would yell at me until he went hoarse, even though he's gonna ditch me to run this cafe. Hurrying around the counter, I approach the new customer curiously. John Doe? That's the best thing I've heard. When I look closer, I realize it's actually a blonde guy, not a girl at all. He's so slender and short that he really looks like a girl from behind, but his face is a little too sharp to be a woman's. So, do you usually stare like that at everyone who comes in here? Also, yeah, Luka's just Miranda. I hope that you are accepting of that. I thought waiters were supposed to be welcoming, not creepy. The first words that come out of his mouth are pretty coarse, even though he's got a high sing-song voice. No, sorry, just a little tired, that's all. What can I get you? He purses his lips together scornfully, letting out an annoyed huff. But rather than responding to my questions, he turns his head to scan the diner. All right. Last time, we were sassy with Luka. Well, this time, let's switch it up a bit. Let's be nice. Well, I don't want to make this awkward situation any worse. Clearing my throat, I place a menu in front of the blonde guy's attention, and he quickly glances back towards me. Sir, would you like to order something? A glass of water, maybe? That is free. Troy is gonna come out and yell at you. He looks a little sheepish, but he grabs the menu anyway and starts to sourly flip through it. Ugh, I just want a soda, any kind. I need to get a bad taste out of my mouth. I'm so curious about Luka's route now. What, I'm trying to smoke pot with your friends? I want to dryly ask, but I should probably have a little self-restraint, more than calling him sir. I grab a nearby cup and head over to the soda fountain, filling it up with some kind of sugary yellowish green drink that probably suits the tastes of a kid like him. You just called him sir. It's too bad he doesn't have a nicer personality to match his cute face. I bet he never wears anything other than that now annoying pout. All right, then he's going to ask us. He's going to ask us to work with him. His bratty question is one I've heard a lot before, so it doesn't exactly catch me off guard. We're open during the day, too. Most people tend to come here when it's not, 2 a.m. Until it's a vampire hotspot. All right, we're just gonna quickly skim through. For those who weren't here before, Luka wants to know about Dom, and he's being super sketchy about it. I'm tempted to still ask him what he's offering in return, but I want to get the other dialogue options because I need 100% completion for reasons. For reasons that we'll get to later. I roll my eyes, crumpling up the napkin and shoving it in my pocket. Sure, I'll try to remember. I'll help, I guess, because I have no choice. Good. Make sure you... Although, all things considered, I'm more likely to drunk dial you, thinking your number was from some girl I met at a bar. He scowls at me with his teeth gritted together and I have to bite back laughter. Man, talk about sensitive. He must have an ego made of glass. That is my favorite line of anything ever right now. Listen, I'll help you out, alright? Lighten up a little. If you don't want to, just say so. No need to be such a jerk about it. He mumbles under his breath sourly, crumpling the wrapper of his straw in one hand. Really, I don't mind. You were the one who said I didn't have anything better to do with my time, remember? Emma Arata Jr. When I give Luka a reassuring wink, he flicks his eyes away and scowls, obviously embarrassed. Then he takes a last sip of his drink before hopping off the bar stool. I'd better not be getting any weird calls from you, and you better not show up at my house with my roommate and make out and have sex on the couch. I'll block you the second you start saying anything gross to me. Luka shouts over his shoulder as he heads out on his way out the door. I'm just making up words at this point. Chuckling, I wave a dish towel at him casually, watching him disappear into the thick of the night. Silly kid. I mean, sir. Who knows what kind of trouble he's trying to work his way into. When I'm left alone with my thoughts, I suddenly remember the man in the hoodie. But when I glance over to where he was sitting at the booth, no one's there. He must have snuck out when I was talking to Luka. Darn. A little disappointed, I returned to his booth to take his coffee cup, but I noticed something lying on the table. A $10 bill and a bunch of change, just for a cup of coffee? That's pretty generous. Now I feel terrible for doubting if he was going to tip or not. It looks like he just dumped everything in his wallet onto the table. Dom only had $10 confirmed. He drank every last drop of the coffee though. I'm not sure why, but knowing that he liked it so much makes me kind of happy. What a weird night. Shaking my head, I pocket the tip and head back to the kitchen with a puzzled smile. The rest of my shift passes uneventfully. People trickle in and out for a couple more hours, but no one else unusual shows up. Finally, I wave goodbye to Troy and step outside, letting out a long yawn. And I go, and I meet Isaac. We're gonna skip a bunch of this because it's pretty long. Suffice it to say, we're gonna meet up with Isaac, who's gonna tell us that something's going down tomorrow night and that we should totally come because it's gonna be rad. If something dangerous is going on tomorrow, I need to tell Troy. Maybe I shouldn't even come into work. Troy is skipping town. Troy knows what's up. Alright, last time we were very like, you're making a deal next to my diner. So, this time, I like to know what happens around here, Isaac. You can't charm me with your mugs with hearts on them this time. I love you, though. I shouldn't be too confrontational. A man like this could have a lot of nasty tricks up his sleeve. Offering a casual shrug, I throw out the vaguest response I can. It's just good to know what happens around San Fran, right? I don't want to be in the wrong part of town when a bad deal is happening. It's just self-preservation. For whatever reason, my remark makes Isaac break into a smirk, and he tilts his head playfully to one side. Oh, so you're just looking out for number one, hmm? Cute. I would too if I were you. The hint of slyness that creeps into his tone sounds almost like... No, I'm definitely misreading him. You are 100% not. Isaac is so thirsty. Why would a fancy businessman flirt with someone like me? Don't make it sound so egotistical. I have friends to look out for too. Uh-huh. I'm sure. So we're gonna skip through most of this, even though Isaac has my heart and he made me write the first fanfic I've ever written in 12 years. So, hooray! He hypnotizes us. He's probably just a businessman, but there's something about him that's different. Unnerving. Alright. Something like that. Alright, so then he gives us advice. He's giving us different advice. I'll read it then. You should stay away from this place tomorrow night. I'm not saying you'll get hurt, but there might be some friendly conflicts going on. He seems oddly thrilled by the prospect of conflicts, and a gleeful light shines in his eyes. When I publish the fic, I'll put it onto AO3. It's been so long that I don't remember how to get into my old account, so I had to make a new one. So that's the thing. I'll come as long as it's safe. I don't want to risk my neck on a whim, but if you can guarantee I won't end up full of bullet holes. When I trail off hesitantly, Isaac tilts his head to one side, biting his lower lip slyly. I wasn't promising you'd be safe. In fact, a cute guy like you would be instantly pounced on by the bad types who'll be there. Rex! Bad types? Like who? My pulse starts to race faster as I question Isaac, who only throws me an evasive shrug. Some people who walk the streets this time of night aren't always friendly, Jack. His eyes flick away from me for a moment, and a sudden cold, dangerous edge enters his voice. There's a lot of predators out there, stalkers, who just love to have a taste of someone like you. When his gaze returns to mine, a chill runs through my whole body. Stop hypnotizing me. You don't have to anymore. That line. All right. It shows what we've already picked. It's very subtle, but I'm going to pretend that Jack is a jack of all trades and he just freelances doing everything. So last time he was a writer, but this time on top of writing, because I don't want to believe he gave up writing, music. Then we can have that Rex is in a punk band AU going on. I love making music, even though I never had any formal training. But there's something really soothing about bringing to life the beats and melodies in my head, so I spend a lot of my free time working on new tracks. I've worked on a few small games and student films, but I'd like to really reach the stars one day. Or at least get out of the bottom 5% on Cloud Sound. Anyway, I have some time to spare, so I plop down in my office chair with a coffee mug in hand. But the moment I stare at my computer screen, I suddenly remember what happened last night. Back on that dark street. You might even see a friend of yours there. Or maybe customer is a better word. Isaac was acting like he knew something about me, or something I know, even though that should be impossible. There was something unnerving about what he said afterwards, but I can't really remember his words. It's all fuzzy. I'm starting to think that it's not some random drug deal going down tonight. A smart man would keep his distance, but if I don't figure out what Isaac meant, it's gonna drive me crazy. That sleazeball in the suit is up to something, that's for sure. I put my head down on my desk and rub my eyes with one hand. I guess there's no helping it, huh? I'll have to see for myself what'll happen tonight. Distracted by my own thoughts, I spend the rest of the time until my shift half-heartedly working on a new project. After what feels like forever, it finally gets dark, and I head out to start my shift. Betty, what's your drinking game? But during my walk, I can't help feeling a lot more nervous than normal. Troy left this morning for a business trip, so I'm the only one who's working tonight. And if anything happens, I'll have to deal with it entirely on my own. Great. The diner seems unusually quiet, even for the night shift. Only a couple people end up stumbling in over the course of a few hours, and midnight ticks over into the early morning. I grow more and more tense until finally I can't take it anymore. Time to close up early. Sorry, Troy. Alleyway. Grabbing my keys, I flick off all the lights and leave the diner, locking it up behind me. Then I make my way to the nearby alley where Isaac came from last night. But it's empty. No gangsters, no men in suits, just a deserted hangout for rats and abandoned garbage cans. Maybe I missed the meeting, although I should have heard gunfire if there was any. I guess they might not be here yet, but I really don't want to wait around this creepy place for very long, especially not alone. Ugh, I should probably just head home. That's the sensible thing to do. Yeah. After a few more seconds of deliberation, I turn back towards the alleyway entrance. I'm not sure why I feel so disappointed. Gotcha. Out of nowhere, someone grabs my shoulders. A second later, my back slams against the wall and a pair of strong arms pin me in place. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. You're not one of those Sarai guys. You're a human. Two wide, puzzled eyes scan over my face like I'm some kind of mutant. A human? Of course I'm human. What else could it be? I don't understand. I break off halfway through my sentence, staring at my attacker. This red-haired guy has a tattoo on his face and is wearing a distinctive leather jacket. Could he be the person that man from last night was talking about? Well, why are you getting all mad, man? You're just not the guy I was looking for. He flashes me a wide, taunting grin. I still need to know about Rex and Dominic's backstory, and if they don't tell me, I will write it. My eyes are drawn to the shape of his canines, which look just like an animal's. Long, sharp, and bone white. Artemis, if it's a shot every time the chat says daddy, everybody's getting alcohol poisoning. You know, you smell pretty nice. Kind of special, actually. Real sweet. He leans in a bit, leering at me with those sharp fangs. They have to be some kind of body mod, right? I'm pretty hungry too. Haven't eaten all night, and you're looking so much better every second. If I don't do something, this creep will really take a bite out of me. Try to push him off. Not tonight, Rex. I'm assertive, Jack. Get off, you... I throw every ounce of my strength into pushing the man away, but he doesn't seem the least bit impressed. Instead, he just presses me harder against the wall, twisting his lips into a mockingly hurt expression. Hey, don't be like that, baby. I just want to play with you. Let me have a little taste. Come on. He coos at me, starting to lean in closer, and a sense of dread grips me like a vice. I shut my eyes tightly, holding my breath. This is it. I'm gonna get torn apart by some psycho in an alleyway. His ragged breathing grows steadily louder, and I can feel each exhale brushing against my throat. All of a sudden, the pressure pinning me to the wall vanishes. When I open my eyes, I realize the man's no longer there. No, he's still here, but now... you. With a loud grunt, a familiar man in a dark jacket swings his fist towards my attacker. Dominic. I knew you were out here. The redhead lets out a gleeful laugh as he dodges the punch, moving at an incredible speed. A second later, he aims a lightning-fast blow of his own towards the other man, Dominic. With an unchanging expression, Dominic smoothly sidesteps. The next moment, his hand shoots out to swipe at his opponent's face. I hear the sound of something sharp cutting flesh, and a moment later, blood starts to drip from the redhead's cheek. Ha ha ha. Dom, you're real mad. Wow. Rather than counterattacking, the tattooed man pauses, wiping off the blood on his sleeve. But before my very eyes, the claw-like gashes on his skin start to repair themselves, until they disappear completely, leaving him uninjured. Am I going crazy? There's no way any human could do something like that. No, this has to be a bad dream. Just a bad dream. Don't tell me you're worked up because of this guy. Let's see. Seriously, you want to drain him that bad? Enough. Don't bring him into this. Dominic's eyes narrow into slits as he stares at the man in the leather jacket who's laughing as if he's just heard the best joke on earth. Wow, in that case, I'm gonna get my hands on him first. Because I want to see you get way madder, Dom. Rather abruptly, the tattooed man's face freezes and his grin fades to a frigid, bloodthirsty expression. I want to see you suffer. Until you stop thinking of us as a joke. Just like that, he charges Dominic again, recklessly swinging frantic punches. This time, though, he seems to be moving even faster than before, and his strikes are full of rage. All right. The assault is so powerful that Dominic retreats a little, losing a few feet of ground to the other man, who's clearly fueled by fury. So, this time, we're gonna watch the fight, and not be such a damsel in distress. No, I shouldn't say anything. These guys are obviously monsters, so if I involve myself now, I'll just get torn apart. And their fighting is strangely mesmerizing to watch, even if it's a whole other level of deadly. Biting my lip, I watch the two men tussle frantically, their grunts filling the air until he's biting his lip. That's all I'm saying. This lip bite confirmed. Whoa, what's going on here? Gentlemen, can you put things on hold for a moment? So, at this point, Isaac shows up in the alleyway, Luka shows up in the alleyway, this is for people who weren't here for part 1, and we have to make a decision, ultimately. And we're gonna make it. This time, we're gonna run away from Rex, which obviously is not gonna work. 'Cause first things first, I gotta get away from this crazy guy. He's striding towards me with an eager, hungry grin, and every fiber in my body tells me I shouldn't stick around. But it's so wrong. It just might be right. Okay, I'll stop. Well, it was great meeting you. Have a great night now. Backing away a few steps, I get ready to turn and bolt, desperately looking for an escape route. Pounced on. But the second I try to dash forward, Rex lunges out and grabs me with incredible speed. Whoa, where are you going? Don't you know it's rude to leave a guy all by himself? His gleaming silver eyes fill my vision again, and I tense up in his grip, eyeing those sharp fangs. Rex growls to me under his breath, licking his lips with a longing stare focused on my throat. Why don't we catch up where we left off? You know, before that stupid emo guy came and ruined everything. That description of Dominic, I can't. I'm not getting away easily from this guy, am I? He's like some kind of rabid dog. If I show fear or manage to run away, he'll just get more of a kick out of it while he's chasing me down. In fact, I think he wants me to struggle and try to escape. That's why he's taking his time taunting me. Surely. There's really only one way I can try to get out of this alive. And that's by doing the opposite of what he expects. Aha. I'll let you drink from me. Let's be assertive about it. You know what? If we're gonna let a vampire have a taste, we're gonna be aggressive about it. You want it? Take it. I'll let you drink from me. Taking a deep breath, I steel myself and gaze into Rex's greedy eyes. I'm still petrified with fear, but I have to try and appeal to whatever human reason he has left. There has to be at least a little bit, right? We're making a lot of bold assumptions in this timeline. Making good choices right off the bat. If you're that hungry, I'll let you drink from me. But please don't kill me, okay? If you drain me dry, that'd really put a damper on my day. His face. Sure enough, my abrupt shift in attitude makes him pause. He blinks at me for a few seconds, but soon a pleased smirk curls across his lips again.
Wait, you're trying to be all brave and noble? Damn, that's pretty cute. Almost better than you being all wide-eyed and scared.
Well, darn. That plan backfired badly. It's almost as if it was a terrible idea. I love how he instantly gets to drinking from Rex. It took us like at least a couple of days to get there with Dom. What the hell do I even do now? No, I was being serious. If you're gonna drink from me, go on already. I deserve it, being stupid enough to come down here in the first place. I bite my lip a little bit of fear changing to self-hatred. I wasn't expecting to run into vampires, but I should have known something bad would happen.
Huh? You...
Rex narrows his eyes at me skeptically, as if he's not sure what to make of my awkward surrender. It is awkward, thank you for using the correct term. Maybe he expects some kind of trap, or that I'm gonna run away when he lets his guard down. I mean, I can't really believe it either. Why the hell am I willingly offering myself to a vampire? I must be going crazy. Rex, why aren't you coming to the... Suddenly a loud voice calls out to us from the end of the alleyway.
Whoa, what's that smell? Man, it's so sweet. Did you catch a Strix?
A stocky man in punkish, ragged clothing approaches us with wide eyes. His mouth hangs open in a grin, and I glimpse two sharp canines that suggest he's a vampire too.
None of your business.
To my shock, Rex steps out in front of me, blocking the man's path.
Oh, what's up with that? You gotta share with your clanmates, Rex. It's only I said it's none of your business, didn't I? He's my find, so back the hell off and get your own.
Cutting off the other vampire's whine of protest, Rex hisses out an annoyed response. Even though he's only a little taller than me, he suddenly seems to cast a long, intimidating shadow over the other man. What happened to his carefree attitude from a few minutes ago? I can hardly believe he's the same person.
What the hell, man? You normally always share. Fine, whatever.
Despite his sheepish remark, Rex's clanmate turns his gaze towards me, and the reptilian thirst in his eyes makes me shudder instinctively. He looks even more inhuman than Rex. Like some kind of giant serpent staring down prey.
Come on, I don't feel like putting on a show for this rude guy.
Muttering under his breath, Rex grabs my shoulder and steers me toward the alley exit. Hey, watch it! I mumble in protest, though it feels like my voice gets swallowed up by the thick tension in the air. Rex is definitely not my ideal companion, but he's better than being left alone with that guy, I'm pretty sure. The redhead pushes me all the way to the street, not releasing my shoulder until the other vampire is out of sight. As soon as we round the corner, he stops in his tracks, trying to fix a narrow-eyed stare on me. Just staring. On the street, normal night. We watch each other for a long moment. And then...
Oh, what a nasty creep, right? Damn, some guys just don't have any manners.
Just like that, he breaks out into another fanged grin, as if nothing had ever happened. Jeez, it's like he only has a switch between rabid dog and frat boy mode.
People keep barging in on us too. First that big brooding guy, then...
Why? Why do you have to be so coarse, Rex? You make it sound like we were having some kind of formal meeting. When I grimace at his words, Rex breaks out into a fit of delighted laughter. My laugh is not delightful. Imagine that it was. Retcon it.
Hey, you were the one making it weird. Food doesn't usually talk back, you know.
Food, huh? What a charmer. I'm called Jack, actually.
Oh man, now he's even telling me his name. Whoa, whoa. That's kinda adorable.
I'm starting to be less afraid and more just annoyed. Does he plan to just mock me all night? Hey, what was that guy talking about back there? Will you finally please tell me what a Strix is? He said some funny word. Strix? What's that supposed to mean? Rex's grin falters slightly, and he goes quiet for a few seconds. Raising a hand to awkwardly scratch the back of his neck, he hesitates, glancing to one side.
It's kind of hard to explain. Something to do with your blood being sort of different. Mostly it just means you have a real good scent to guys like us. A real good taste, too. Like a choice brandy compared to a cheap beer, right?
Rex cackles at his own joke, clapping his hands together. Rex is so Lestat-y to me. Such Lestat vibes. Right, I should have known. Sighing to myself, I glare bitterly at the cracked sidewalk beneath my feet. It's just my luck that somehow I end up with the blood type that's quality crack to vampires. I wonder if I can get a transfusion to fix it. You said mostly a second ago. Is there something else, too? He pauses again, this time fiddling with the lapel of his jacket, chewing on his lip briefly. But soon a bright smile returns to his face, and he waves a dismissive hand at me.
Just forget I said that, yeah? It's nothing a little guy like you needs to worry about.
I stiffen, open my mouth to retort I'm not little compared to him. He tackled us again. When he abruptly presses in towards me, getting so close that our chests bump together.
So, getting back to business. Here's the deal.
Rex's voice drops down to a smug whisper.
That guy back there. He's gonna tell all the other little boys and girls that you're a nice, juicy treat. Just waiting to be snatched up.
Jack is a snack.
But you want to know how you can get off real easy? Scot-free. No worries.
The wolfish smirk on his face makes it pretty clear that it's not going to be a great deal for me. I'm a little skeptical about the no worries part, but I'm listening. Go on. Rex's eyes... Ariella. Rex's eyes gleefully shine at my response, like he's some kind of kid about to unwrap a birthday present.
It's simple. You just say you're mine.
I narrow my eyes at him to see if he's joking, but he actually looks fairly serious.
The other guys in Helgen, they won't touch you. You don't mess with a brother's prey unless they want to share. Those Sarai guys, they're another matter, but I'll keep them away from you, baby. Don't worry.
Rex reaches out a hand possessively cupping my cheek. His skin is cool, just like ice. The sensation sends an odd shiver down my spine, and the back of my neck tingles. I'm nobody's prey. If it'll keep me safe, I am nobody's prey. I am not a prize to be won. As if I'd ever agree to something like that. Is this guy crazy? You can back off right now. I'm nobody's prey, and there's no way in hell I'll tell anyone I'm yours. I spitefully growl back at Rex's face, but rather than getting angry at my refusal, he just snickers.
Yeah, huh? Funny. I don't remember saying you had a choice, though.
Baring his fangs, he suggestively lets his gaze drop towards my throat. I know Soul Cutie Jack is a Disney princess. God, I've met highway truckers with more subtlety than this guy. Listen, if all I have to do is just say it, then I guess I could maybe... That is all I have to do, right?
Maybe. Maybe not.
The casual way he shrugs his shoulders makes my temper immediately flare. I shove him away with all of my might, and he stumbles away a few feet. I've had just about enough of his games, and right now I'm a lot more irritated than afraid. We're done here. You'd better keep your word, or else.
Or else what? You're gonna glare at me like my big meanie till I say sorry?
Well, I could always ask Dominic if he wants to help me out. No, don't do that. We like Dominic alive. That gets his attention, much to my satisfaction. Oh, are you gonna play the jealousy game with Dominic? You're not even a thing yet, Jack. It's like I just dangled a treat in front of a mutt, then threw it to another dog.
Okay. No need to act all spiteful. I get it. I'll play nice. Nicer.
Yeah? I hope that attitude lasts for more than 10 seconds. I turn on my heel before he can reach out for me again, shoving my hands into my pockets and walking away. Christ, out of all the vampires, why do I have to be stuck with the craziest one?
Hey, wait.
What? Without turning around, I call back to Rex.
Watch yourself on your way home. I don't want some lame guy taking a bite out of you first, okay? That's all.
Something about his slightly awkward tone makes me pause. I glance over my shoulder to try and glimpse his face, but he's already gone, his wiry figure disappearing down the alley. Whatever. Trying to understand him is probably a waste of time anyway. But I end up following Rex's advice, hurrying back to my apartment while keeping a watchful eye for anyone lurking in the dark. All I'm saying is Dominic walked us home, and Isaac called a cab. I've never worried about thugs before. Who'd want to rob a broke-looking guy like me? But now every alley seems dangerous. Every alley should always seem dangerous, Jack. Don't take shortcuts. Damn it. Is every night gonna be like this from now on? Home sweet home. If only I could pretend all of that craziness was a fever dream. If only it was that easy. I end up tossing and turning in bed for what feels like ages until eventually, the exhaustion from tonight pulls me into a deep sleep. The early afternoon sun trickles into my apartment, fighting through storm clouds to arrive on my face. I push myself up with a yawn. I can't say I feel very refreshed. Those events last night, the fight between Dominic and Rex, the vampires. I was hoping it would be a dream, but it sticks too vividly in my mind, like a bad taste that won't leave my mouth. I could mix up an amazing EP inspired by this stuff, although I'm not sure if I'd live long enough to drop it. I'm just imagining a world of Jack dropping some sweet mixtapes, and I need it in my life. Jack on a street corner like, here, listen to my demo tape. Still half asleep, I mumble to myself as I put on the coffee machine. It's true. All this excitement definitely inspired me a little, though I'm also too on edge to really channel it right now. Rex. His words from last night still echo in my ears. I definitely don't want to be someone's food supply, though I also don't want to end up dead in an alleyway. Rex is obviously untrustworthy, but at least he doesn't seem intent on killing me. Yet, anyway. I'll just have to see what happens, I guess. With luck, he won't decide to make me tonight's dinner. I'm sorry, I'm just imagining Jack explaining his inspiration for his album. Why would you come up with this album? Well, one night I saw these vampires fighting. I finished a couple of short songs for the indie game I was hired onto, but I know I'll need to go back and give them another listen when I'm more focused. In the last couple of hours before work, I decided to play around with a new track, trying to capture the essence of the tension from last night. It ends up as some dark trip-hoppy piece with out-of-tune guitar and grungy synths. Well, now I want to listen to it. Sounds like it'd be right at home in a vampire game, at least. When I get ready to leave for work, the sight of the darkening sky outside makes me tense. What I saw yesterday, along with Rex's warning, won't stop nagging at my mind. I'd better hurry to the diner before it gets too late, and hope that Rex keeps his word. Luckily, nothing happens on the way to my shift, and I flick on the diner's lights with a sigh of relief. This is really doing a number on my stress levels, I'll say. Muttering to myself, I switch the sign to open after a little bit of prep work, and the night finally begins. Yeah, I'll have fries. Yeah. Coming right up. Just the normal drunk customers. That's right, it's Fry Guy and Milkshake Guy, our favorite people.
Hey, dude. Can I get an ice cream frothy thing?
You mean a milkshake?
Yeah, dude. Milkshake. That's totally what I meant. How do you know?
Average high as a kite teenagers. No, Artemis, stress is not a stat. Nothing out of the ordinary. Not yet. Occasionally I glimpse a shape moving outside the diner's windows, although it's probably just a random passerby. For some reason, though, I have an uneasy feeling. It's like I'm being watched, and not in the comforting guardian angel way either. Now I want to write a fic about Fry Guy and Milkshake Guy, observing all the happenings, especially after the diner turns into a neutral vampire hotspot in the Isaac timeline. Closing time finally rolls around. No sign of any angry vampires, but Rex hasn't shown up either. I don't know if I should be worried or relieved. Not sure what I expected from someone like him, though. Maybe I should call a taxi. Sighing, I finish wiping a glass and put it on the shelf nearby. Right as I turn around to start leaving the bar, the diner door violently swings open. You!
Hey, that's no way to say hi to your cool vampire master, is it? How about a nice, hello, sir, or please take me, sir, or...
I roll my eyes, pointedly ignoring the rest of his blabbering. If he's gonna go on like this every night, I think I'd rather just be drained dry and put out of my misery.
Hey, are you listening? Don't tune me out like that. You're gonna hurt my feelings.
Rex strides up to the counter, leaning forward and propping up his elbows on the white surface. Yeah, just make yourself at home, sure. What'd you come here for anyways? To torment me? Rex lets out a theatrical sigh, staring at me with sparkling silver eyes.
Nah, well, I gotta make good on my promise, you know.
Your promise? When I repeat his words in confusion, he nods, clearing his throat.
Yeah, keeping my cute blood bag safe and all that. Figured I'd stop in to make sure nothing weird happened while you were alone.
So I like that headcanon. Am I entirely misunderstanding things, or is Rex saying he's trying to protect me? No, I think I've got it wrong. He just wants me safe so he can use me as a blood bag. Gee, thanks. I was having a real rough time fighting off the junkies until my knight in shining armor showed up.
I don't mean them, stupid. The other vampires out there.
To my surprise, Rex actually gets a little worked up at my snide comment, and a sour look flickers across his face. Yes, there is a Luka root. He must be taking this whole protecting business pretty seriously. What, you mean I can't just grab some garlic from the kitchen to defend myself?
Garlic doesn't do anything at all to vampires, except make us smell funky.
Rex snorts, grabbing a straw and fiddling with it between two fingers.
I'm being serious, though. Strixes like you, they're pretty rare. I'm kind of surprised no one's pounced on you yet.
Maybe your fellow vampires have more self-restraint than you. Ever think about that?
It's not my fault. You were totally giving me those doomy eyes back in the alley. Or maybe it was, please don't kill me eyes. Kinda hard to tell the difference sometimes.
Jesus, what kind of messed up sex life do you have? I try to keep up an annoyed front, but it's hard not to laugh at such stupid bantering. It helps that Rex is acting a little more bearable than yesterday, not just treating me like some kind of captured prey. He's definitely not my preferred conversation partner, though there are worse guys to be around. As I watch him lean lazily on the counter, a question pops up in my mind. Hey, how'd you get turned into a vampire anyway? Just casual post-diner conversation. You seem a lot happier about being one than someone like Dominic. Stop saying Dominic. This is where he just wipes whatever off the counter onto the floor. Although they're very much like Angel Spike or like Louis Lestat. Rex's eyes instantly narrow when I mention Dominic's name. They really don't get along, do they?
That guy. He doesn't love or respect his clan one bit. It's a shitty clan, sure, but you gotta treat your clanmates like family. Otherwise, you're just a blood-sucking monster, all alone in the world. Not even a reflection to keep you company.
His voice trails off to a quiet, distant murmur, and for a moment he looks unusually wistful. Rex? The second I curiously nudge his shoulder, though, his eyes leap back up to me with a bright flash.
Oh, right. How'd it get turned? Man, it feels like forever ago, even though it was only last August. Let's see. So I was in this gang, right? A group of guys in Phoenix who did a lot of hardcore shit.
Rex starts recounting his tale with an eager grin, clearly fond of the memory. You were in a gang? Wow, what a surprise. I am truly not shocked.
Yeah, well, my parents had some problems, so I kind of wanted to get out of there.
His smile falters briefly, eyes shifting to one side to evade my puzzled gaze.
The guys in my group were cool as hell, just like real brothers. We had a lot of fun, did some crazy things, almost died a couple of times.
I mean, well then you did kind of actually die.
But guess what? One of them friends was a vampire. He was awesome, real strong, but we thought that was just because he pumped a shit ton of iron. None of us knew what he was, though. It kind of came out of left field when he pulled me aside one day and was all, "Hey man, you want to become part of a cooler gang?"
Rex keeps beaming while he's talking, but a shadow of something like guilt crosses his face all of a sudden.
I thought he meant my buddies and I would all be joining together. Didn't really think he was serious when he talked about the whole vampire shit. Figured it was some kind of weird hazing thing. But he only bit me, not them. Took me down here to San Fran and brought me into the Helgen. I couldn't talk to the guys back in Phoenix. I mean, how would they understand something like that?
He seems to be struggling to keep up a cheery voice. This gang of his back in Arizona must have been pretty dear to him.
It's not that bad, though. The other guys in Helgen are great. Really chill about feeding and everything. And being a vampire is awesome, once you get used to it.
Really? You wouldn't go back to being human if you could?
I mean...
My question makes Rex hesitate, and he stares at me for a long few seconds. He doesn't really seem to know the answer himself. I get that impression from seeing his conflicted eyes.
Christ, why you gotta ask such a hard question, man?
He screws his face up in a playfully annoyed way, nudging a fist against my shoulder. Oh, we got a fist nudge. We're in there. Hey, careful with that vampire strength of yours. You might break something.
You're gonna make me break something.
I snicker as Rex waves his plastic straw threateningly in my face, a grin returning to his lips. This guy, maybe he's not as bad as I first thought. Honestly, he just reminds me of a goofy teenager. When he's not leering at me with his fangs, that is.
I guess you should be getting home, huh?
Letting out a long sigh, Rex pushes away from the counter, shoving his hands into his pockets. Yeah, it's gotten pretty late. Surprisingly, I'm a little reluctant to leave. Damn, I must really be starved for company if I enjoyed talking to this guy. I need to get out more. I grab my keys and follow Rex over to the door, and we head outside to the night road.
Hey, I'll walk you home, Kay.
I open my mouth to reflexively refuse the offer out of pride, but the eager, hopeful look in Rex's eyes makes the words get stuck in my throat. Or, sure, can't hurt, I guess. Just don't expect to be invited in for tea or anything.
Huh? Why would I want to be invited in when the best drink's standing right in front of me?
And here I was thinking you'd gotten past seeing me as a 3-course meal. My route back home is usually pretty quiet and lonely, so Rex's happy chattering along the way is a welcome change. He talks about his clan a lot, raving about how the older members are so cool, just like a sports fanboy or something. I'm almost envious. I don't think I've ever had a group of friends or even family as close as Rex apparently is with his clanmates. Some of what he says seems a little at odds with his actions, though. After all, why isn't he hanging out with his clan instead of with me? A few blocks away from my apartment, Rex and I round the corner into a narrow side road, idly talking about some old 80s movies.
Yeah, I don't give a...
Why, Rex? Why?
About Elliot Ness until I saw that flick. Then I was like, damn, he's so cool. Going after Capone. Man.
Also, now I'm kind of like, Rex likes movies. Isaac likes movies. Shipper brain activates. Hey, Rex! Suddenly a loud holler breaks through the darkness. Uh-oh. A moment later, 3 tall figures come jogging towards us from the other end of the alley. I can't really make out their faces in the dark, but their clothing is similar to Rex's own. Yo, we were looking for you. Hey, wait! The one in the middle cranes his neck a little, and I get the feeling his eyes are trained on me. Wait, is that the guy Gary was talking about? Oh man, who's Gary? What's he doing? He your feeding pet, Rex? Hey, if he's just a blood bag, why are you guys walking around together? Shouldn't you have him locked up somewhere? Another one of the men, probably a group vampires, chimes in, his voice high and nasal. Uh-oh. We gotta stop cutting through this alley. We've really gotta stop doing that. I shoot a worried look over at Rex, who's frozen in place, eyes wide. Don't tell me you're not friends with him, right? Rex, you know Bishop doesn't allow that. You get caught being friends with a human and it'll spell real big trouble. The 3 vampires' jeering words call out to us. I'd guess that they're Rex's clanmates, but they don't sound very brotherly at all.
Guys, you know it's not like that. Guys, just let me have friends.
Rex mumbles under his breath, his lips pulled together tightly. It's not, huh? Well, I don't know if I believe you.
Yeah, me neither.
Hey, if he's really just a blood bag, why don't you take a nice long drink from him right here? His eyes sliding over to me, Rex pauses, a strange grimace pulling over his lips. Yeah, if you don't, we'll take him. He doesn't smell claimed, but he does smell pretty good. One of the vampires takes a step closer to me. Rex. I unthinkingly hiss out Rex's name to try and spur him into action. What's he doing, just staying quiet at a time like this? These guys are not messing around, clearly. He has to tell them off like he did that other man last night. Otherwise, I'm going to end up someone's meal.
Come here, Jack.
Rex's voice is soft but oddly firm. He reaches out a hand, beckoning me closer. The light in his eyes is much different from earlier. Right now it reminds me of how he looked when we first met. Hungry, eager, but also just faintly a little sad. We don't want to activate his hunter instincts. I feel like we should get closer. What is gonna make this the best situation for us? I think we should get closer. His expression is terrifying, but I don't really have a choice, do I? I trust Rex more than these other guys, at least. Even if it's just by a tiny amount. And I don't want to get into a fight, because if we fight, they might jump. That's my logic, and I'm sticking to it. Reluctantly, I step closer to him, although I try to keep a couple feet between us.
I said come here.
But a second later, Rex lunges forward, grabbing me and pulling me into his arms. That's more like it! Hey Rex, see if you can get him to make some cute noises. I love it when they're scared. The sound of taunting voices barely reaches my ears, drowned out by my own pounding heartbeat. I stare up at Rex, silently pleading for him to have an escape plan.
Yeah, he's scared, all right. So cute that it's driving me wild.
It takes me a few seconds to recognize the meaning behind his low-growled words. But as soon as I start to frantically struggle... Yup. A sharp pain shoots through my neck and I cry out, trying to push Rex away. It feels like two small blades are splitting open my skin, driving deep into my neck. It's so terrifying that I can hardly breathe. But soon the pain starts to melt away. In its place comes something completely different. A strange warm tingle that spreads through me from where Rex's fangs are sunk into my neck. Ugh. What is this? What are these noises I'm making? Ha! There you go. Wow, he's really loving it, Rex. You've got away with them for sure. A deliciously sweet sensation starts to float down my spine. I unconsciously relax in Rex's arms, closing my eyes at the powerful pleasure makes my body hotter and hotter. He clings onto me tightly, his face still buried against my neck, and I hear him softly panting as he drinks. It feels incredible. I want to tell Rex that, but all my strength is drained away. I can't even lift my head up or form any words. I can only shiver in his embrace, relishing this blissful feeling. Rex. The moans leaving my lips get weaker as my consciousness slips away, bit by bit. Rex squeezes me against him, and I think I feel his fingers running through my hair. I don't want it to end. It's the most wonderful thing I've ever felt. I want more. Before long, though, I sense Rex pulling back. His tongue laps over the wound at my neck, making me shudder again in delight. Jack. His voice whispers passionately in my ear. Jack, I hear his words even though I can't understand what he's saying. It might be something important, but it's too hard to focus. Finally, I give in to the pull of darkness and let myself be washed away into a comforting void. My head. Groaning loudly, I turn over in my bed, reaching for the sheets. Were my sheets always this small? Also, my bed feels a lot harder than I remember. The mattress was never actually luxury foam, but it wasn't this bad. Wait a second. This isn't my bed. This is... My eyes shoot open. Why, it's everyone's favorite warehouse. Vampire hangout of choice. The first thing I see are concrete walls and fluorescent lighting. I'm lying on the floor in some kind of warehouse. I pull my aching body up into a sitting position and realize that there's a large cloth draped over me. It looks like something used for covering stacks of crates, but it's been serving as my makeshift blanket. How the hell did I get here? I can't remember anything. I know I had my shift at the diner and talked to Rex, and then we went home. And just like that, it all comes flooding back. Yup. Those noises I made. The strange sensations that were making me feel so hot. God damn it. With an angry cry, I throw away the blankets and push myself up to my feet. It was probably Rex who took me here after that happened. Jerk. I can't believe he actually went through with it. Why do I feel so betrayed? Well, I mean, for obvious reasons. He made it clear a couple nights ago that he only wanted my blood. I guess I just thought he wasn't actually serious about it. Now I feel like a complete idiot. I shouldn't have trusted him. I mean, in all fairness, that situation was kind of, I mean, he didn't have to take quite so much, but he's young. He's a young vampire, so that's understandable. He's not like Dom, but also he was better at feeding than Dom. I mean, let's point that out. With a strange gloominess clouding over me, I drag myself out of the warehouse and head outside. Bright. It's broad daylight, probably early afternoon. I must have slept for a really long time. The street I'm on looks like it's not too far from home. I guess Rex dropped me off at this warehouse, not knowing which apartment I lived in. I probably look like complete shit after all I've been through. Hopefully I'm not mistaken for a crazy bum by people passing by. He says, looking completely fine and spotless, jacket still on fleek. I make it to my apartment before long, and I waste no time in taking a nice cold shower. Cold? Jack, we need to have a talk. After some coffee and a delicious frozen meal, I feel a bit more like my normal self, and the delicious frozen meal. Somebody please get Jack some good food in his apartment. But a lot of my energy is still zapped, though I don't know whether it's from being fed on or being pissed off at Rex. Sighing, I slump down into my office chair, stuffing my hands into my pockets. Oh, what's this? My hands brush something thin and crinkly inside my jacket. See? Even Rex left a note. Dom didn't leave a note. Isaac's left a note. Rex left a note. And It's a note, and it definitely wasn't there last night. I unfold it and scan over the text, which is written in a very messy hand. Sorry about tonight. Meet me at Club Skyline tomorrow night. Want to apologize. I don't know what's worse, his butchered spelling of apologize, or the fact that he wants me to meet him again. Well, it's not like I have to. If I wanted, I could just skip town and get another job, somewhere else that isn't Vampire Central. You don't know that. They're everywhere. I doubt Rex would come after me. He's too attached to his clan, obviously. But, to be honest, I do sort of want to see him again, even though I shouldn't. Mostly, I just want to ask why he turned on me last night, instead of defending me like he did a couple nights ago. Club Skyline's pretty close to the diner, too, so I could just stop by on my way home. You really have no self-control, Jack. Muttering under my breath dryly, I decide to distract myself with some commission work for the rest of the day. My latest job is a track for a strip club scene, part of a little indie flick. I was kind of stuck on how to make it sound sexy, but when my mind drifts back to the feelings I had last night when Rex was feeding on me, somehow I managed to capture it perfectly. A slow, heavy rhythm and sleazy electric guitar pulling it all together. I'm gonna need another cold shower. By the time I finish up and get ready to head for work, my mood's actually a lot brighter. I got some good work done and, well, I'll get to see Rex in a few hours. Jack, my goodness. Is this, okay, chat, is this just regular Jack thirst, or is this being fed upon by a vampire thirst, which we've known, depending upon the lore you're using, increases your thirst towards said vampire? Of course, I'm mostly just excited to chew him out. Like always, the street is fairly busy around this time. I mostly just tune out the racket of car stereos and blaring horns. It's funny to think that out of all these people, next to no one realizes that they're in a city infested with vampires. And just a few nights ago, I was one of them. My shift goes like normal, full of junkies and the occasional drunk prick. Okay, number 7. That's a whole pie, sir. Are you sure you want a whole pie? I'm not high. You're high. Ah, late night crowd. Never change. Finally, I decide to close up shop a little early. Troy's gonna have some words when he comes back and you've closed up early like every night. Shoving my keys in my pocket, I head towards Club Skyline, sticking to the main road. I do not feel very protected in this route, I have to say. No vampires have to play tonight, I hope. I nervously laugh under my breath, making sure to peer down every alley I go past. Luckily, it doesn't seem like anyone's trying to make jack kebabs right now. I reach the club before long and duck into the dark, crowded interior. Paying, I assume. The bass is so loud that my eardrums feel like they might burst. It smells of sweat and probably other bodily fluids too. I grimace squinting in the dark to try and find Rex in the sea of dancing bodies. His unnaturally red hair is pretty easy to pick out, but I don't see him anywhere. Hang on. Doesn't that bartender look kind of familiar? Rex? I push my way over to the bar quickly, and the man serving drinks turns around to face me.
Oh, hey, baby. Was wondering when you'd show up.
Rex casts me his usual wide feral grin while energetically shaking a mixer. What the hell? I didn't know you worked here.
Hey, a guy needs some spending money, okay? I don't want to get it from robbing old ladies or something.
He defensively yells his reply over the music, then pours the mixed drink in front of a guy who looks completely smashed. Afterwards, he yanks off a small strip of cloth he was using as a headband, then vaults over the counter to land beside me. Whoa. Wait, aren't you on your shift? You can't just...
Nah, another dude's coming soon to take over anyway. Come on over here.
Grabbing my wrist, Rex tugs me over to one corner of the club, and I stumble along behind him. You know, I can follow you just fine without being dragged. Don't hold my hand! Oh, Rex, Jack's always so damselly.
I don't want to take any chances. Gotta stake my claim, yeah?
I think he already did that. Arguing is probably useless, so I just grumble to myself and follow his persistent tugging. Soon we come to a stop in a slightly darker corner of the club. Rex turns around to face me, staying close so that we can hear each other without needing to shout. Impossible in any club ever.
Alright, listen. I know you're probably pissed about last night.
Wouldn't you be? For all that talk about protecting me, you should have a 180 pretty fast. He chews on his bottom lip uncomfortable, scratching at his tattooed cheek.
Listen, I just had to do what was best for both of us, okay? If I hadn't, those guys would have seen through it all. You'd be locked up as one of their private blood bags right now. Or worse.
He wrinkles his nose, lips pressed together in a tight line. Weren't they your clanmates? Why couldn't you just say you were going home with me?
That's not how it works. The Helgen, they're all about showing off. If you were really just a pet, I would have...
Rex abruptly cuts off and his eyes go wide.
I mean, of course you're my pet, I just...
Oh, what was that just now? You see me as more than a pet, huh? Jumping on the opportunity to tease him, I savagely smirk, leaning in a little bit. In response, Rex lets out a loud cough and turns his head evasively to one side.
What? I didn't say that. Listen, it's complicated, okay? Besides, you should be thanking me for saving you.
I thought the whole point of this meeting was for you to apologize. You're not great at this whole communication thing, are you? It's hard for me to stay mad at Rex for some reason. I think it's because this is his own awkward way of saying he likes me, as more than just a pet. Sighing, Rex glances up at the pulsing lights on the ceiling, which reflect in his silver irises.
You tasted even better than I thought you would.
Come again? He mutters something so softly that I can barely understand.
I said you tasted amazing. The best thing I've ever had in my life. Real talk. I don't know if I can go back to junkies and homeless dudes now that I've had your blood.
There's a brief glimmer of hunger in his eyes mixed with a longing look. Not sure if that's a good thing, but... thanks, I guess. Christ, good thing the music's loud enough that no one can hear our bizarre conversation. Rex is gazing at me expectantly, like he's waiting for me to say something else or just outright offer myself to him. Man, the nerve of this guy. You know, let's not pretend that Jack's not the thirstiest I think we've ever seen him. The way it felt last night. Well, I'm still pretty pissed at you and everything, but it actually felt kind of good for me too. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it was one of the best, one of the most intense things I've ever experienced. Look at his face. He's like, yeah. Rex's eyes light up at that, and an eager smirk quickly curls on his lips, showing off his fangs.
Of course it was.
And he winked. We got a wink.
I took things real slow so you wouldn't pass out right away. It's awesome, right? Man, those sounds you were making too. It only took a couple of seconds for you to get hot.
Yeah, I get the picture. I cut Rex off with a sharp glare, hoping my face isn't growing too red. My memory of last night is still a little hazy, but I think I'm fine with that, for my own pride's sake. Anyway, more importantly, I forgive you.
Huh? Really?
Even Rex is surprised by how easy that was. He's like, what? Like admissions of what it felt like, okay, but forgiveness. Just this once. If you try to pull something like that again without warning me, I'm not gonna be happy. Rex, who seems thrilled that I'm not holding a grudge against him, eagerly nods his head. He does his best to mask his excitement by clearing his throat afterwards, but it's not hard to see through him.
Well, if you're gonna be fussy about it, I'll say something first next time. So needy.
I'm needy? Sorry, must have misheard you over the music. We exchanged a few more playful insults and jabs, and I even indulged Rex by dancing with him for a little while. I catch glimpses of his fangs when he grins at me now and then, and it makes me wonder how far away the vampiric beast inside him ever really is. But right now it's so hard to see him as anything other than a crazy energetic kid. He really only does have two modes, I guess. Finally, I hesitantly tell Rex that I should head home to catch some sleep. He insists on walking me back, which I end up agreeing to despite my better judgment.
Hey.
When we get close to my apartment, Rex pipes up with a more serious voice, although he sounds a little uncertain. Yeah, what's up? I cast him a curious glance, raising one eyebrow.
You think maybe we could trade off seeing each other now and then? I mean, I could stop by the diner some days and you could come by the club on others.
He scratches the back of his neck a little awkwardly. Well, I figured you'd show up at the diner whether I wanted you to or not. I mean, everybody else has. I guess I don't mind stopping by the club now and then, especially if you give me free drinks. Rex lights up like a Christmas tree, flashing me a joyful, fangy grin.
Hell yeah, free drinks for my favorite drink, anytime he wants.
He darts forward and pulls me into a crushing hug, which I return with a slight grunt. Can't you come up with a nickname for me that isn't... You know, never mind. And just like that, our strange relationship kicked off. Stay safe, Artemis. Most nights, Rex would show up at the diner not long before I closed, and we'd chat about silly things almost until dawn. I came to visit him at the Club Skyline pretty regularly too, where he made good on his promise of free drinks. But to my surprise, Rex stopped asking me for blood after that. Whenever I questioned him about it, he brushed me off, acting like he didn't need to feed very often. Maybe it's guilt. Maybe it's embarrassment. Or maybe he just wants us to be more like regular friends. I can't really tell. He started to look even paler than normal, though, which worries me. But once Rex makes his mind up, it's impossible to change it. Our relationship itself didn't outright grow beyond friends, even though it was obvious Rex liked me. I guess you could say I'm just too scared to actually date a vampire, especially since I get the feeling Rex's clanmates are still watching us. Although he's just so stupidly adorable, or is it adorably stupid, that sometimes I can hardly keep from pouncing on him. Closing time, finally. I let out a sigh of relief. It's been a long shift, but tonight I get to see Rex at the club and grab some on-the-house beers, something I've started to look forward to a lot. I head over to the club while humming under my breath, enjoying the cool, refreshing night air. Before stepping inside, I smooth out my jacket and hair just the tiniest bit, gussying up for my free drinks. Like usual, it's pretty packed, and I have to wade my way through the crowd to reach the bar. Rex! Rex, I could really use a... But when I get close, I realize Rex is standing beside the bar, surrounded by a few figures in punkish outfits. I think I might recognize a couple of them from that night in the alleyway. Are they his clanmates? So, Rex, what we're trying to say is... you're not part of the Helgen anymore. A look of shock and horror contorts Rex's face, frozen like a mask. His eyes slowly drift between the men around him as if he's trying to see whether they're joking or not. Hoping for it to be a prank. Tough shit. You knew it was coming, didn't you? Yeah, man, you can't just get all close with a human like that. Didn't we keep telling you? Jesus, you're even dumber than I thought you were. Their voices are just barely audible over the pounding bass, but I can hear the scorn in what they say. Rex has the face of someone stuck in a nightmare, and his silver eyes are glazed over in disbelief. Bishop ain't gonna be happy either. You know what he does to guys who break the rules. Go find some other shitty clan that'll let you play with your blood bag boyfriend. Don't stay here. Yeah, we don't want you here. Always thought you were a weirdo anyway. Snickering to themselves, the shadowy group starts dispersing into the crowd, turning their backs on Rex. This hurts. This is hurting me. No, I feel this. They disappear one by one until finally Rex stands there alone. Still frozen in place. At last he seems to notice me and our eyes meet. Rex. I take a step towards him, biting my lip. Stay away. He growls at me suddenly, his eyes narrowing into a desperate glare. Rex! Where are you going? Stop! Yeah, have a good night, Artemis. Stay safe. Let us know what happens. Just like that, Rex turns on his heel and bolts off into the darkness. He's obviously heading for the side exit, so I take off after him, running as fast as I can. By the time I make it into the alleyway, Rex is already dashing to the end of the street. Rex! Come back here! Even as I sprint at top speed, I can only barely keep Rex in sight. He hurtles down the sidewalk, his figure growing smaller and smaller in the distance. But as I chase after him, I realize where he's going. The warehouse. The only place anyone ever goes. Sure enough, Rex disappears down a familiar alley and I follow him quickly. By the time I reach the narrow road, he's already ducking through the entrance. Good thing he didn't keep going down the street. Muttering anxiously to myself, I hurry inside the abandoned building. But when I rush into the warehouse basement, I realize Rex has stopped running. Instead, he's slumped with his back to the wall, his face buried in his hands. His body jerks and trembles a little bit, and a muffled noise leaks from between his fingers. Is he... crying? Rex? I call it softly to him, but he doesn't lift his head to reply. Well, I can't just leave him like this. Can I? Somewhat hesitantly, I approach Rex from the side, half expecting him to bolt away again. But when I get close, the sound of his quiet, choked breaths fills my ears, and I feel an unexpected pang in my chest. Rex, what's wrong? Come on, you can tell me. What do you mean, what's wrong, Jack? You were there. You were there. Did those guys' words really hit you that hard? He looks up at me with an expression I've never seen him wear before. Like an innocent child who can't understand why they've been hurt. Sorry.
probably think I'm pretty lame, huh?
With a tearful smile, he rubs at his eyes with the back of one hand still shaking. I already thought you were lame a long time ago. Crying's not gonna change that. Doing my best to sound playful, I reach out to gently squeeze his shoulder. For whatever reason, I can't stand the sight of him like this. Even his normal crazy self is much better. Sadness just doesn't suit Rex. That thought lingers at the back of my mind. All of a sudden, Rex curls his arms around me, pulling my body up against his own. He squeezes me like I'm some kind of oversized teddy bear, burying his face against my neck. At this point, I'm used to him invading my personal space, but this feels very different.
They're all I had.
Rex whispers bitterly, his breath brushing lightly along my skin.
I thought they were my brothers, that I finally found a place I belonged. But I never believed they'd just kick me out. I guess I never meant anything to them from the start, huh?
His fingers curl tightly into my jacket, clutching onto the fabric for dear life, like he's afraid I'll vanish before his eyes. I had no idea he loved his clanmates so deeply. I guess a part of me always assumed he saw them as peers or friends, never anything more. Yet his broken voice belongs to someone who lost his flesh and blood, who saw his bond ripped in half.
So much for friends, so much for family.
Rex's eyes close painfully, forcing out tiny clear drops that trail down his cheeks.
Now they're all gone, and I've got nothing left.
His choked words are so quiet that they barely reach my ears. But when I recognize what he's saying, a spark of anger immediately lights inside of me. After all we've been through, Rex thinks he's all alone, that I'm just gonna drop him like everyone else. Are you really that stupid? I scold him quietly, curling my fingers in his bright, soft hair. How can you say you've got nothing left? Do you think I'm just gonna leave you here and walk away? You're crazy and impulsive, and you've got a horrible temper, and you seriously need to learn about personal boundaries. Pausing, I bite my lip for a moment. His gaze is full of such pure, desperate hope, like a drowning man clinging onto a tattered raft. But you're a good kid, Rex. You aren't the big bad guy you try to be. I've already decided that I won't leave you alone. Besides, who else would look out for you if I wasn't here to keep you in line? As I speak to him softly, Rex stares at me with pure awe, as if he can hardly believe what I'm saying. When his tear-filled eyes glimmer in the light, I can't help but think they look incredibly beautiful. Not the eyes of a monster. Not one bit. My body moves on its own, and a moment later I pull Rex in for a kiss. His lips are cool and a little dry, and I trace my tongue along them gingerly, catching the salty drops of his tears. Sad sex. It's about to go down. He doesn't move an inch at first, but I keep lavishing his mouth with soft kisses, curling my arms around his neck. Finally, Rex starts to press back against me, his movements slightly hesitant. Once he seems to realize I'm not tricking him, though, he returns my kisses with an even fiercer passion, arms encircling tightly around my waist. My tongue slides along and dances with his, and I feel a strong heat rushing up to my cheeks. Our kisses grow messier and hotter, the wet sounds echoing around us, but no sense of embarrassment wells up inside of me. Rex squeezes me in a painfully tight grip, but it warms my heart more than anything. I don't want to let him go. I can't believe I never realized it, but I really do care for him. A lot more than I'd like to admit. Vampire or no, He's still a kid who hasn't really grown up yet. He's not evil, and he's not cruel. He's just lost. Rex teases my lower lip with his fang, and then laps at the corners of my mouth, letting his tongue coax its way forward. Even though his body doesn't give off warmth, the eagerness with which he holds me makes up for it, each kiss growing more and more heated. Rex. When I pause for breath, panting, Rex gazes back at me with an astonishingly gentle smile. There's still a lingering sadness in his eyes, but now they look a little brighter, and so full of adoration that my heart aches.
You're calling me crazy. But you gotta be pretty crazy too, if you're sticking around.
Before I can offer him any complaints, he pulls me back into another kiss, swirling his tongue against mine. We share the moment for a while longer, savoring every warm second, until finally, Rex loosens his grip on me a little. Yes, someone I know. Bishop storms in. This is my warehouse.
We gotta get out of San Fran.
Oh, don't make us promise things. We're terrible at that. Rex murmurs against my lips with a rare, serious look in his eyes.
Bishop's gonna come after me. No, us. As soon as he hears what happened. He's the big boss. He doesn't let his coven get friendly with humans.
He bites his lower lip and his fangs sinking into the pale flesh, almost hard enough to pierce it.
Some bad stuff will happen if we stick around. We gotta leave by tomorrow night.
By tomorrow? Rex doesn't seem like he's joking, so I suck in a sharp breath. Troy will be pretty pissed if I skip out on him like this, but is there anything else I can do? Good thing I don't have any important crap in my apartment. Damn. I'll be ready to go tomorrow night if you are. My grimly confident reply makes Rex let out a relieved sigh, and he nods his head.
Hey, I'm sorry I dragged you into this. I didn't know things were gonna turn out so...
He still looks troubled, probably due to his clanmate's words from earlier. I pull him back into a rough hug, squeezing his slightly larger form with every ounce of strength I have. Don't apologize. It's as much my fault as yours.
Yeah, it's your fault for luring a guy like me in with your pretty face and attitude and...
Hang on. You didn't list smell at the top of that list. Man, things must be getting pretty serious between us, huh?
Hey, you're the one who whines if I ever say it. Stop sending me messages, man.
When some of Rex's feistiness returns, a smile grows on my face. I guess when you really care about a person, all that matters is seeing them happy. What a funny thing. Rex walks me home, but with sunrise not far off, he has to hurry back. It's oddly nostalgic to see his figure disappear into the thick of night. It wasn't long ago that we first met, yet somehow it still seems like a distant memory. I head upstairs with mixed feelings swirling in my chest. If I go through with Rex's plan, then tonight is my last night in this apartment, and in San Fran, at least for a while. It may seem crazy, and it probably is, leaving my steady job and normal life behind, all just to be with a guy I've known for a few weeks. But in a way, I think it's time for me to go. I was stuck in this place for years. I never had anything or anyone to be really passionate about. Now at least there's someone I want to protect. Someone who makes all these dull days feel a little less colorless. Landlord's gonna be pretty pissed. Poor guy. I flop onto my bed, still a little giddy from the kiss we had earlier, but dog-tired. Before long, I drift off to sleep, submerged in the happy image of Rex's fanged grin. I'm scared. I don't know if we've made choices that will let us have a happy ending. I'm scared. The next day, I scurry around my little apartment, stuffing everything I might need into my backpack. I call up Troy too and leave a hasty message on his answering machine, letting him know I'll be taking off work indefinitely. He'll find someone else to cover the night shift. Probably. The sky grows dark a lot sooner than I'd like, and before long I get the sense that it's time to go. I pick up my bag of things and head to the door, giving a last wistful glance around my apartment. One day I'll come back here and get wasted while crying over Frank Sinatra albums. One day. Outside, there are a few people wandering around the streets, but I don't see Rex. My mind instantly starts to race through 100 awful possibilities. Did he get ambushed, captured, killed? Should I go look for him? I can't just stand around here, or else...
Hey baby, you're early.
An eager voice behind me interrupts my thoughts. To my relief, Rex hurries up unscathed, looking as happy to see me as I am to see him. Glad you decided to show up. I'd almost started worrying. I was worried. I was legit worried. I don't want to eat another boyfriend. I pause studying Rex's face for a moment. Is it just me or does he look a little sickly? Oh, that's right. You haven't fed off me for a while, have you? You must be starving. I can let you take a little before we leave if you want.
No, don't worry about me. I can wait until after we're out of here.
No, feed now. Feed now. No, please just feed now.
Won't want to drink from you without being able to enjoy every last drop.
That's the sweetest thing anyone's ever said to me. Despite his playful reply, I can't help but be a little concerned. When did he last feed? Someone get a rabbit or something. A rat, please. I'm concerned. There's a feverish look in his eyes, like he's trying to bite back pain.
Let's go. Waiting here's making me all antsy.
Right. Without wasting any more time, we set off down the street, heading towards the nearest bus station that'll take us far, far away. I follow Rex closely, trying to reassure myself that we'll be fine. He seems on edge, too, eyes darting from side to side as we walk along. The side roads we take feel eerily quiet, even though that's typical for this time of night.
Just a little farther. Don't worry.
I'm very worried. Rex squeezes my hand reassuringly, but I feel like it's more to soothe his own nerves than mine. His hand's trembling a little bit. I wonder if it's because he hasn't fed for a while. Damn it, why didn't he just drink from me earlier? Just as I start to believe that we'll make it out unscathed, footsteps start to approach us, and a shadow looms over me from behind. I should have known it wouldn't be so easy. I turn to see a pair of towering figures leering down at us. I recognize them from last night. Those two were taunting Rex the loudest. Well, well, looks like we found the little traitor and his human buddy. Rex tenses beside me, grinding his teeth. Unlike last time, he glares at his former clanmates, eyes narrowing to slits. Thought we'd carry out some vigilante justice. Bishop might even give us a reward. Yeah, your buddy's worth more dead than alive to him, Rex.
That right? I figured you jerks would show up sooner or later. You're always running around trying to kiss Bishop's butt.
Well, we're not about to let you waltz out of San Fran just like that now, are we? Bishop really doesn't like traitors, but you knew that going in, right? I'm getting pretty tired of looking at his dumb face, you know. So let's get to business. One of those two vampires leaps at Rex, trying to shred his flesh with sharp claws. Rex! And your friend. Over here. Before I can dash over to help Rex, the second vampire steps forward to block my path, dragging his tongue across his gleaming fangs. I want her to rough you up a little bit first. Show you what it means to mess around in places you don't belong. How am I supposed to defend myself against a guy this size and also a vampire, which is the more key point?
You get away from him!
Rex shouts desperately towards us, but he's locked in a struggle with a second vampire, both of them grappling each other like animals. There's no way he can reach me in time. I have to...
Come here, you little...
Ugh. Something sharp rakes across my shoulder, tearing through my jacket, and a searing pain wells up around the spot. Hot blood starts to spill down my arm, the metallic scent reaching my nose a second later. Oh no. As I stumble back, clutching a hand to my injury, Rex abruptly freezes. His fingers tremble as they clench the other vampire's collar, knuckles turning white. And his eyes, they stare at me unfocused, gleaming in a strange way. Rex? Rex, what are you? As he takes a slow step towards me, I realize Rex isn't his normal self. He looks exactly like an animal. Like some sort of hunting dog going crazy with bloodlust. Someone hasn't been feeding. He's no better than us. Still just a beast inside. The vampire's jeering voices echo around us, but I can't tear my eyes off of Rex. Hey, Rex. If you jump on that kid and drain him dry, we'll let you back into the clan. He gasped sharply at one of the vampire's remarks. He understood them. Does that mean he'd understand me if I called out to him? Yeah, prove you're not some pathetic guy who goes around playing with humans all day. Do it, Rex. You used to love showing off. I have to say something. This isn't like before. Rex doesn't know what he's doing. He wants to drain me. I can see it in his eyes. A terrifying hunger. Rex, don't listen to them. I don't know. They don't care about you? But we promised. I don't know. They don't care about you, but we promised. I don't know. I don't know. I saved though, so I'm willing to try both options. I don't know. We both. We promised? I swallow the burning sensation in my throat, taking a deep breath. We promised, Rex. We promised that we'd run away from all this together. His wide, glassy stare burns into my face, unblinking. Are my words even getting through to him? No, I have to keep going. I have to pray that he can hear me. I decided back there that I wouldn't let you go. That I wouldn't give up on you. So don't give up on me. Please. The alley goes deafeningly quiet. Everyone stares at Rex, who gazes only at me, his lips trembling helplessly. For a moment, he looks almost like his old self again. Is it possible? Did I get through to him? But when I see his eyes fill with desperation, with hunger, with confusion, I realize he's too far gone. Rex rushes forward, his eyes fixated on my bleeding shoulder. His arms lock around me in an iron grip, and I know I won't be able to escape. But there's no one else to blame but myself, is there? I feel his fangs messily cut into my throat, almost tearing it up, causing fresh blood to stream free. It hurts. It hurts so much. But I don't have the will to struggle as Rex starts to drink, eagerly panting and lapping at the wound. The world starts to get blurry, and the jeering and laughter of Rex's clanmates sounds muted, distant. I hear Rex's strained voice too, somewhere in between agony and delight. He sounds so different from his normal laughter. Before long, my vision goes dark. Unlike the first time he fed for me, it feels peaceful, like I'm floating away. No pleasure, no pain, just darkness. Finally, only a single thought remains in my mind. This one last moment. At least we can spend it together.
Dark. That's dark. That's dark, man.
Whew. Let me load my save. I don't have all the dialogue options there for this. I don't have I Won't Run Away, and I don't have You're Just Another Beast. They're locked to me. So I'll try They Don't Care About You. Please? They don't care about you? They don't care about you, Rex. Your clan isn't the family you thought they were. They just want to use you. His ragged breathing goes louder and a look of pain grips his features. Rex, please. Don't believe what they say. You're better than them. No matter what happens. I have faith in you. The alley goes definitely quiet. Everyone stares at Rex, who gazes only at me, his lips trembling helplessly. Don't kill me, please. Slowly, the beastly light in his eyes starts fading away. Before long, I can recognize his normal self flickering back, but... Rex starts to move towards me, causing his clanmates to growl encouragingly. Is he still gonna go through with it? My feet feel frozen in place, and even when Rex steps before me, curling his arms tightly around my waist, I'm unable to move away. I close my eyes, taking in a deep breath. I must have said something wrong. I made a mistake, didn't I? Ha! Me playing every dating sim ever.
I can't hurt you, Jack. Damn it.
His soft, guilty voice makes my eyes fly back open. Did I hear him right? Rex? He buries his face against my neck, drawing in a shuddering breath.
I wouldn't drain you, even if it means we...
The sudden sound of footsteps forces my attention away for a moment. A decent-sized group passes by on the street, and I can see their silhouettes moving at the end of the alley. Hey, isn't... The two Helgen vampires suddenly start to shift uneasily, staring past us. I can't understand why at first, but then I realize the group up ahead has stopped. No, not stopped. They're coming towards us. Just as I'm about to hiss to Rex that we should try and bolt, the man at the front of the group steps into view. It's Isaac, surrounded by an entourage of intimidating figures in dark clothing. Isaac, please save me. Including Dominic. Yes, please. Save me from the darkness. Are those Dominic's clanmates? Please excuse us. We were just on our way to some business negotiations. Oh dear. We've interrupted something, haven't we? Isaac blinks at me, then Rex, and finally the two vampires beside us. I'm so happy to see Isaac. A moment later, though, a wickedly amused smile crosses his lips. It's the Helgen. Only a couple of them too, let's rip them up. Hold on, gentlemen. You can't just... Like hounds breaking off their leashes, the group charges away from Isaac. Straight towards us.
Jack!
Rex grabs me, pulling me away from the oncoming vampires. Luckily, we don't seem to be their targets, unlike Rex's clanmates. Fighting! Vampire fight! Get off me, you... The alley turns into complete chaos, blood splattering against the walls and coating the ground. We're surrounded by vicious brawling, but if we try to move, I know we'll get jumped on by one of these crazy monsters. How can we find a way out of this?
Keep going.
Dominic. To my surprise, a tall figure steps out of the fight, offering a quiet mutter to me and Rex. Is he telling us to escape?
I don't...
Rex seems even more shocked than me, and he blinks at Dominic in disbelief.
Go. I'll make sure no one chases you. Don't come back.
His voice dropping to a barely audible whisper, Dominic turns away from us. Though I catch a brief, wistful look in his eyes. Without wasting another second, Rex grabs my hand and we dash down the alley together. I can't think of anything except getting away from the bloodbath, away from all these horrors. Before long, the screams and shouts start to grow distant, and eventually I can only hear our frantic footsteps as we escape. Neither of us says a word. But as we run, Rex squeezes my hand almost tight enough to hurt, like he'd sooner die than let go. We lived. Do. The cool ocean breeze drifts through my hair. It's hard to find something prettier than the beach at night. So peaceful and calm, even right next to a big city. The ebb and flow of the tide is so rhythmic that it's almost hypnotizing to watch.
Hey, stop staring at the water like that. You're gonna make me jealous.
A sulky whine comes from behind me. Aww. The moment I glance over, an arm drapes itself around my shoulders and pulls me in close. Really, Rex? Jealous of the ocean? God forbid I looked at an actual human. You might go into cardiac arrest.
Don't rile me up, baby. You know how I get when I'm riled up.
Snickering, I hug my arm around Rex's own shoulders as we walk along the beach side by side. The sky just doesn't change. Not that I'd ever want him to, of course. After we fled San Francisco, on the last bus available that gory night, there was one place Rex insisted we visit first. Phoenix, Arizona. So he could apologize to his old friends for leaving them behind. It turns out his old gang had split up, but Rex still managed to track them down. He couldn't fully explain what happened, of course, but they seemed to understand. Even if Rex can't get that family back, at least he made amends, and he's found some peace in that. Now we've gone down to Southern Cali, and here in San Diego we found a little place cheap enough for us to stay. My freelancing's kicked off somehow, and I'm making a decent wage from writing scores for games and indie films. Rex, on the other hand, is still working the night shift. He's a bartender at another club. Pretty seedy place, but he seems perfectly happy. We're almost like a normal couple. Yet, there'll always be something that separates us from the normal world. The threat that Rex might give into his inner beast again if he doesn't feed for me each night. It's scary, I can't deny that. Each night? Jack, are you okay? The frenzied look I saw in his eyes back in San Fran still haunts me to this day. But I'm determined to take care of Rex, no matter what. I'll share his burden with him, even if it means danger is only ever a few steps away. I'm still like, each night? Saying that kind of cheesy stuff to yourself is how you know you're in love, I guess.
Guess what, Jack? I made you something for when we get back.
You tried to cook dinner again, didn't you? He's picked up this habit of trying to make me food, which was really doomed from the start, considering he can't eat normal meals. Apparently it's impossible for vampires to digest them. Still, I try to choke down at least a little of whatever he cooks, since the happy grin on his face always makes it worth the indigestion later.
Yeah, how'd you know?
The apartment smelled like someone tried to burn it down. That's how.
Oh man, I want it to be a surprise. Can't you just let a guy treat you for once?
Uh-huh. How about you mix up a drink next time instead?
You're pretty good at that. Yeah, you want a Bloody Mary? So you can pretend you're cool like me?
Wow, how'd you know? Rex's delighted laughter melds with the sound of the peaceful waves. No matter how much I hear it, I can never get enough of his voice. Always joyful even in dark times. He would not be saying that if he could hear the voice I was giving Rex. And even if it means that I end up joining him in his curse one day. I know I never want to see his smile fade again. Success! Well, I liked how dark the dark ending was. I like how dark the dark endings go. And just side note, I really like how different each of the routes are. Like, they don't feel like there's too much overlap, and each time you do learn something a little different. It's not just a repeat, so it really makes replaying it worthwhile, which is really fun. Like, each route has felt distinct, and you don't run into the other people so much, so it really makes it worth playing through again and again to figure out everything you can. So I enjoyed that. We've successfully gotten 2 happy endings. I'm glad that the happy ending wasn't behind one of the locked options. I would have been sad. But I'm gonna keep going, and of course, not right now. It's 11 at night. But Luka route, we will do Luka route. We'll get happy Dominic route. And can I just tell you, I saw something that makes me think that there is a bishop route, and I need to find that. So thank you so much for joining me. This was a lot of fun. I will see you again when I can. And until then, yeah, enjoy whatever it is you're doing. Bye-bye, everybody.